It says more about you than you'd ever say about yourself.
We are deeply proud of you. We applaud you. We love you, and we thank you. Deo Oppressor Liber.
Welcome back to the channel, y'all, and I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. Nate, is this another one of your comedy and satire videos? And unfortunately, no, it's not. This is a true story that just happened a few days ago. Yes, a Green Beret was caught trying to escape Leavenworth prison. And guys, 2025 has been a very tough PR and brand year for the Green Beret, with prison breaks and Teslas exploding and stolen valor and fraud everywhere you look. And, you know, we could really use a hero to save us from this PR nightmare. The only way it could be done, Rob O'Neill, we need you to go out and get another alcohol-related incident as soon as possible and bring this heat back where it belongs on the Navy SEAL community. Now, we're going to talk about what happened, what went wrong, and some interesting things about this story in this video. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Go grab yourself brand new Munchkin merch. And we're just going to jump in, look at the story, and talk about how insane and ridiculous this is. All right, let's check this out. All right, here we go, guys. Attempted Fort Leavenworth prison break leaves military inmate tangled in a fence. Yes, here he is. 2 inmates were injured in the April 29th escape attempt. Picture shared on social media shows one inmate tangled in concertina wire atop a fence. Here he is. Whoopsies. We're going to talk a little bit about this. All right, so it says, picture shared by the U.S. What the Fuck Moments on social media shows an inmate in the U.S. disciplinary barracks at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, being recaptured after a failed prison attempt. Okay, no further information about this incident was immediately available. All right, so who was this? Apparently this was a former, well, I guess, I don't know if you say former or not, because he's probably still active since he's in Leavenworth. 10th Group Green Beret, who has been charged with 1 count of broadcasting indecent recording, whatever that means, 4 counts of larceny, and 1 count of wire fraud. So it sounds like he probably stole a bunch of money from the government and tried to embezzle it through wire fraud. That's as much as I know about this person in the story. Not that much has been released, okay? But I want to talk about a few things. One, SERE School, okay? We, as Green Berets, land most special operators go through what's called SERE School, okay? Survive, evade, resist, escape. The entire school is taught you how to do things like this, technically, if you were to get captured in a foreign country, all right? So you would think that a Green Beret would be the most trained person to know how to break out of a prison. Not saying that breaking out of Leavenworth would be easy or anything, but if we take a look at this picture here, a few things about this, okay? It looks like potentially he might be on the perimeter of the base here in Leavenworth. I can't tell exactly, but I'm assuming so based off of maybe this light pole, that this is the street, but I don't know exactly. But if that's the case, I mean, he made it pretty far to give him credit for. You know, obviously he got himself caught up in this concertina wire, but I mean, maybe he got pretty far, maybe he didn't. Again, I can't really tell exactly, but also just a few things really to think about. Multiple inmates apparently tried to escape here, and you know, guys, if I had to guess, this dude, being a 10th Group Green Beret, was probably the ringleader of this escape. Now, what went wrong? Well, the biggest one right away that I can tell, and guys, you don't have to be a SERE specialist to see this. If you've watched any of the hundreds of prison break movies out there, you got to know in the perimeter of the base, on every military base, especially Leavenworth, is a ton of concertina wire. So, what do they do in every movie, and what should you do if you're going to break out of prison? Well, you should probably bring your blanket with you that you have from your room that you can throw over the concertina wire. That way you have a better chance of getting over it, and you don't get your jeans and legs stuck in it and get hung up on a fence looking ridiculous, right? All right. And then 2, I mean, where are you going to go? You're in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. There ain't nowhere to go. Once you get outside that base, Y'all ever been to Kansas? It's 500 miles in every direction of basically nothing. Okay, so not sure what the overall game plan here was going to be to even once he escaped. And it's interesting to see for his charges, larceny and wire fraud. I wonder how long he actually was being charged with, right? Was breaking out or attempting to break out of prison, which is going to put substantially more time probably on his sentence, even really worth it? I don't really know. But it actually gave me some ideas, okay? And this might sound ridiculous, but I want to talk about how the military could potentially use something like this to help, or Green Berets, to help solve the recruitment crisis, right? But before we do that, let me pay the bills, talk about our partners over at Tasty Gains pre-workout gummies.
All right, guys, I'm out at the range, about to get in some tactical fitness. You guys know I love that. And I got my partners here, Tasty Gains gummies, pre-workout gummies, guys. All right, if you're trying to get rid of your Red Bull habit, when you're out here at the firing range like I'm trying to do, grab yourself some Tasty Gains. 200 milligrams of caffeine in every gummy. You can take one, feel pretty good. Take two, really get amped. And that's what we're about to do. Here we go.
All right, so this got me thinking, right? I see this Green Beret stuck up in a fence. Terrible attempt at trying to escape prison. Obviously, didn't follow his SERE training very well, but it did give me some ideas. We've been talking a lot on the channel recently about the recruitment crisis in Army Special Forces, a recruitment and retention crisis. I've said multiple times, obviously, we're losing Green Berets at basically twice the rate we're producing them, and that's causing a ton of problems. I just heard from one of my former teammates who's a team sergeant that first group, they've officially started breaking down ODAs and ghosting ODAs, essentially collapsing ODAs and migrating guys and filling up teams that way. So yeah, that's happening right now. We are running out of dudes fast. So we talked about the SFAS YouTube channel. We talked about different ways that, we could potentially increase that branding and PR, compared it to Ranger Bat. But this got me thinking, what if, hear me out. What if we were to a stage, and I'm thinking about Alcatraz, right? We got Alcatraz is getting ready to get started back up. Bunch of movies about escaping Alcatraz, right? What if we had a Green Beret who was imprisoned at Alcatraz, and he just happened to escape Alcatraz, actually make it out, not get caught, and this turns into, a DB Cooper level story. Think about what that could do for the brand of the Green Beret. How badass Green Berets are. SERE Training. So good that somebody could escape prison, escape Alcatraz, right? Actually use this as a brand moment. Unfortunately, this 10th group Green Beret, shit the bed on this one, because this could have been awesome for branding and PR in some ways. Not to say it's good to commit crimes or anything like that. I'm just saying. And maybe you guys can let me know what you think. Maybe that's ridiculous. Maybe it's not. But if you guys didn't know, everybody's seen all the movies and the wild story about the DB Cooper story, right? I'm sure almost all of you know the story, but it's not necessarily confirmed, but very well thought that DB Cooper was actually a MACV-SOG operator Green Beret. Okay, you could even find this on the sogsite.com, right? There's even been books written about this. Paratrooper of Fortune, the story of Ted D. Braden, Vietnam commando, CIA operative, and maybe, just maybe, DB Cooper, right? Fantastic, exciting story. And you think about how badass, a MACV-SOG operator is to have pulled that off, never get caught, all those different things. Maybe this could be that watershed moment. Maybe this is what could get turning something terrible into something good. I don't know. Maybe not. Now, that's probably not the way that the U.S. military and Special Forces Regiment would go about doing things. But, sometimes you got to be creative. You got to be imaginative. You got to be inventive if you want to solve complex problems. Us as Green Berets, we are all about using the gray zone, the gray area, and solving complex problems. We're problem solvers. There's a famous saying in Army Special Forces: anytime you're trying to figure something out and you're telling your team sergeant, hey, we can't, I don't know how to get this done. And the response every single time will be, you're a Green Beret, right? Figure it out. Well, these are just some thoughts. So, yes, this story is ridiculous to see a Green Beret hanging upside down from a fence while MPs collect him. But it's not any more ridiculous than a lot of the other stuff that's been happening in the Special Forces Regiment in the last 3 months. So again, hopefully, every time I think the Green Beret is going to be out of the news for some negative shit, we get drugged back in. So we'll see what the next one has to say, right? It's who knows at this point. We're only 4 months into 2025. There's already been all this crazy shit for Green Berets. Hopefully we can calm this down, but we'll see. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Catch y'all on the next one. Oh, also, live tonight, 5 p.m. We are back live in the studio, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Come join us. All right, y'all. Take care.